Imperialism is the policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force. The economy needed resources and markets. Nationalism was a key to the start of imperialism. Social Darwinism is the theory of individual groups and people are subject to the same laws of natural selection. It is survival of the fittest. White man's burden. White men believed they had to impose their civilization on others. They believed they were superior and everybody had to be like them. Social Darwinism and white man's burden both justified imperialism. Gadsden Purchase was 29,640 square miles in southern Arizona and New Mexico. We gained this territory after the U.S. won the Mexican-American War.
Matthew Perry was a Commodore of the U.S. Navy who commanded ships in several wars, including the War of 1812 and the Mexican-American War. He played a lead role in the opening of Japan to the west with the Convention of Kanagawa in 1854. U.S. Secretary of State William H. Seward signed a treaty with Russia for the purchase of Alaska for $7 million. This event would become known as Seward's Folly. The Senate ratified the treaty by a margin of just one vote on April 9, 1867, and 6 months later, Alaska was handed over from Russia to the United States. The Open Door Policy was a statement of principles initiated by the U.S. in 1899 and 1900. It called for protection of equal privileges for all countries trading with China, and for the support of Chinese territorial and administrative integrity.
Boxer Rebellion. In 1900, in what became known as the Boxer Rebellion, or the Boxer Uprising, a Chinese secret organization called the Society of the Righteous and Harmonious Fist led an uprising in northern China against the spread of Western and Japanese influence in there. Yellow journalism. Yellow journalism is the equivalent to clickbait today. It is news that is based upon sensationalism and crude exaggeration to gain readers and publicity, thus increasing the sales. This example of yellow journalism claims that Hillary Clinton adopted an alien baby. While this exaggeration might be a little over the top, it is a great example of how stupid stories can get millions of views. As seen here, the news story insists that Abraham Lincoln was a woman. As it turns out, good old Honest Abe might not have been so honest after all, although the story is fake. This story captioned Bush on cocaine grabs the attention of readers, making them wonder, maybe that's why it's called the White House. Well, this might be the reason. This is another fake story. Platt Amendment. The Platt Amendment is a section added to the U.S. Army's Appropriations Bill, which established the terms under which the United States would end its military occupation of Cuba, which had begun in 1898 during the Spanish-American War, and leave the government and control of the island of Cuba to its people. In April 1898, Senator Henry M. Teller proposed this amendment to the U.S. Declaration of War against Spain, which proclaimed that the United States would not establish permanent control over Cuba.
Hi, my name is Moaz El-Zazi, and I'm here to teach you guys a thing or two about U.S. history. More particularly, imperialism. Now, imperialism is an important time in U.S. history, so that's why I'm going to teach you about it. Jingoism. Jingoism is extreme patriotism. It meant aggressive foreign policy on the grounds that America is the best country in the world. Period. If you see someone in Walmart screaming about how America is the best country in the world and that immigrants should get out of it, just know that's a form of jingoism. An example of jingoism is the U.S. reaction to the Dulome letter. It was a letter that was intercepted by the U.S. The letter was actually intercepted by Cuban revolutionaries looking for change in their country. The letter was sent from Spain, so it riled up America because it was Spain telling the U.S. that we were weak. That got the public all hyped, and it led to the U.S. having an aggressive foreign policy. The Maine. The Maine was an American warship that sunk off the coast of Cuba. Now, no one knows what caused it, but newspapers, aka yellow journalism, made it out to seem like Spain did it. So, of course, the public also got more riled up. This is what led us to the Spanish-American War. The Monroe Doctrine. President Monroe issued the Monroe Doctrine a long time ago, in Unit 1, about. And it just stated that the Western Hemisphere is no longer subject to colonization. We didn't have anything to back this up, but the Roosevelt corollary did it. Now, my name is Moaz El-Zazi. Thank you for watching.
addition to the Monroe Doctrine, which was articulated by President Roosevelt. This was where the United States wanted to intervene with hopes to protect European interests in the Western Hemisphere. Big stick diplomacy refers to President Theodore Roosevelt's foreign policy, which was, speak softly and carry a big stick. You will go far. It was designed to display America's naval strength, establish goodwill, and many other things. Big stick diplomacy allowed Roosevelt to symbolically project American power without having to use any actual force. The Panama Canal was another part of Theodore Roosevelt's foreign policy. The canal was built in order to improve shipping, and it also provided a way of travel from the east to the west without having to go around South America. It was a shortcut for the U.S. Navy. Dollar diplomacy was President Taft's foreign policy. Taft's plan was to trade dollars for bullets as a way to show America's dominance.